We're live from the Sandusky Library. I'm with Tom Tucker, a city commission candidate, a Sandusky City Commission candidate on the ballot November 4th. Early voting's already started. Thank you for being on Between the Lines, Mr. Tucker. This is your first run at political office, is that right?
That is correct. My forays into the
Public sector, yep.
was school levies for children.
Because you were a school superintendent in Sandusky. You came in what year?
I came here in 2008 and returned to my hometown in 2012. And I was superintendent, assistant superintendent here. And we moved here in 08 and haven't.
And your hometown was Lorain, Ohio. And you've thought about running for office in the past. I know you consider it. And why was this time different?
When we moved here, Sandusky was facing a number of challenges, and that was 15, 16 years ago. And the commission then changed. And what's happened in the last 10 or 12 years has been transformational. And three of the folks that are on to them are turned out, and Steve has chosen not to run again. They've done a terrific job with the way that what the commission has done. And I'd like to. People reached out, said, would you be interested in helping out, continuing that forward project? Absolutely.
And there is some concern that next year, two veterans on commission, Mr. Murray, Dennis Murray Jr., and Mr. Brady, Commission President Dick Brady, are both termed out. They've been in leadership positions on commission since for 10 years, 12 years. Are you concerned about that?
There's always, being school district for many, many years and attending a lot of school boards, I've seen that occur. And the big thing is to reach out. They're going to be in town. They'll be there. Their knowledge isn't going away. So you should be able to reach out to them for those now. But yes, there will be gaps. Their relationships with people, their knowledge, their contacts. We need to make sure that those continue, because there can be gaps when folks like that have turned out and are moving on.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed that you were running because you felt there was a need, that you wanted to be there because you could make a difference.
I believe, yes, I could. And there's some other candidates who feel the same way I do, and I believe I can make a difference. My whole life has been centered around public service and teaching and just serving for. That's what I've always done. That's what I do.
And you were a teacher before you became an administrator.
I was a teacher for
20 years. And you were the band director. So is it true that band directors are the most loved teachers in the profession?
I don't know about that, but I do know that the difference is you start some of the students in fifth grade teaching them their instruments, and you have some of those students for 8 years.
Yeah.
So you develop great relationships. In fact, I was at a homecoming in my hometown just Friday night, and there were about 20, 25 of my former students there on their 20th reunion. I couldn't believe it, and it is just fabulous to hear their success and how well they're doing.
And you run into students often.
All the time. They tell you things that you said and did that you can't even remember.
And we're at the Sandusky Library. I'm interviewing Tom Tucker, a candidate for Sandusky City Commission. And we came here to do this interview, and we got lucky. We found one of your former students works here. And so we found this office where we could conduct this interview. So what is the most important issue, do you think, for the city going forward? Is there a single most important issue?
I don't think there's a single issue, but I think there's for the forefront projects going forwards. With the economy, right now the economy is good where it's headed. Fiscal responsibility could be a challenge. I was an assistant superintendent for the 2008, 2009 economic issues, and even further back than that on some of the challenges. And that's a time when real leadership comes forward. But if the economy goes well, then we're just going to continue the progress on the projects that we have and encourage that. The housing is an issue too, and we'd like to expand on that with the programs.
And well, speaking about the issues or the projects that are underway, Can you talk a little bit about your views on the city rec center?
The rec center is important to me because it involves students and what students are doing. The concern that I have, and I don't have all the details because I haven't been on the commission, is the cost for that and being able to do it. A lot of communities have been able to build rec centers, but it isn't just building it; it's maintaining it and maintaining the services, and that's a key. And I know we've passed a levy to maintain those services, but it isn't. It's a good amount of money, but based on what's happening in the economy today, it's a challenge. So you have to be able to balance that financially and take a look at that and make good decisions as to what you can do and can make happen with an activity like
Well, let me ask you, are you committed to building a new rec center? If you're elected, would you support building a new rec center, or is there a chance you might revert to refashioning the old mill school, which of course you're familiar with?
the the answer to that question is I'm not sure. Would I like to build a new one? Absolutely. That's what everybody or most people in town would like to do, and hopefully that's financially possible, and we can do that. If that's not possible, then what's the alternative to that? But we need to take a look at the finances and where we're at, and where does that rec center plan to be 8, 10, 15, 20 years from now? So the answer is yes, I'm in favor of building the new one, but there's always a possibility that circumstances.
And then can you talk, speaking of another project, the landing, the green space in front of Sports Center on the bay, Lake Erie. Can you share your thoughts about that project?
I think it's a great project, and I looked into that quite a bit as to the grants and that. I know there's some controversy on whether we should be doing that or not, but I think overall, looking at what they did behind or on Shoreline Drive, there was some controversy when that was done. But being down there all the time, it is amazing to me the amount of people that use that, walk there. It's thousands of people that utilize that area now, and I think it expanded the usage.
So you support that.
Yes.
So Mr. Brady and Mr. Murray have both expressed a desire to get these projects underway. Do you support, as it stands right now, uh, battery park redevelopment?
I just know what attending the commission meetings and look at that. I think it's just something should be developed there. They're the ones that are the experts on that now because they've been working on it for quite a while. And years ago that they put that in place, and I know there's funding that they're waiting on that, but yes, something needs to be
hmm
there.
hmm And the rec center you support.
Absolutely.
What other issues are important to you as you look ahead to a potential term on city commission?
The big issue besides the economic development is the housing and the home grant that they've worked on now, getting the homes for people is very important. That's been has a lot of success, and that should continue. The grants they've given to people to upgrade their homes, and that is something we could hope
And when you say do more, what would that look like?
more to with the grants to help them.
hmm
Demand on that, maybe right now because of that in the past maybe hasn't been. Maybe to look at more than that. Challenger there versus finding the grant money to make that happen. Um, and covering and keep being fiscally responsible.
And the city commission has been fiscally responsible in your view?
They have. There's a lot on the debt, but if the debt means you're moving forward, but you also have to pay that debt down.
hmm
As superintendent, I was working with they built a new high school, and I know the challenges of it built.
In Lorraine.
And to keep that, we built that on time and on budget, which was outstanding. And that's a challenge. And that's one thing that I do have expertise in the leadership role.
hmm And as you look at what it might look like next year, have you considered who you're going to vote for?
I've already voted
And who did you vote for?
myself.
Well, at least you remembered to do that. You're not. Is there anybody that's running that you hope wins or hope loses?
I'm not going to say a word on that. It's the people's choice.
It's the people's choice. Very good. Um, what other issues are important to you? Excuse me, are important to you moving forward?
The economic development of the city, which means more jobs and continuing jobs. We have a tourist area, and tourism is a big component of that. But I think we need a balance, and we need to look out for other types of things. Factories bringing factories back is probably not in the picture, but there's a lot of small businesses. I support the small businesses in town. Living in that area, I've watched what's happened downtown, which has been stunning. Yeah.
You live downtown, so do you enjoy that?
It is wonderful to be able to walk and go to local businesses with local folks, knowing that we're helping the community. And the more I
So when you became the Sandusky superintendent, did you ever think that you would adopt Sandusky as your hometown? Well, your hometown's Lorraine. You love Lorraine, but
my
you
family.
yeah, and you love living here.
That's sweet. When I got the job here, the first year I worked here, my wife and I, because they asked if I would move here, we looked and we fell in love with it, believe it or not. Bought a place here, moved here, and then um, my wife said, "Oh, we're staying. We're water, photos. Sandusky offers so much. It has so much going on, and it is an exciting place to be in. And just what's happened in the last 20 years has been amazing.
And as you look at your campaign, this is your first political campaign
For myself, yes.
for yourself, because you've supported certainly levy campaigns in the past,
Levy campaigns
and
for my own.
and you've won those.
Yes, we have. Or about 60.
Then that's pretty good. How does this campaign feel? Are you nervous?
It is much easier going doing levy campaigns because it's about children, and that's been my passion, education, and creating a better future. Selling yourself is, it's one thing to interview for a job and have your resume and know your skill set, but this is different. It's different for me.
Hmm.
Good or bad, it's different.
Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to be interviewed on Between the Lines. I guess I was surprised. How do you feel about your debate performance this morning at Sandusky Central Catholic High School or Central Catholic Schools in the Kinzel Center?
It was anytime students are involved in anything with the community is awesome, and they got to create the questions. They were very interesting questions and very, very well thought of. And I enjoyed that, and it never know how you do. I
Right. You did great.
as I said,
Were you surprised that Mr. Schwanger did not attend the debate?
everybody had their choices to make. Being a former school superintendent, I didn't have a choice whether I showed up when the TV station showed up, the newspaper, like you and your reporter showed up. I've always been, even if it's controversial, you're there. You're representing people, and you show up, and you take the heat, and you listen.
Very good. Mr. Tucker, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. This has been Between the Lines, sponsored by the Erie County Health Department, working hard today for a healthier tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Tucker.